Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Czech Republic. I am currently in Trebeach, and we got my guest and special friend here who I just met maybe 2 weeks ago, Marcus Fukuhara.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm glad I got that right. I mean, I should get it right. I'm from Hawaii. We have a lot of Asian influence there. So, I mean, I feel like you're from Hawaii, but you're from California.
Yes, sir.
So, it's a pleasure to see. To me, you're like a local to me, as far as like I'm from Hawaii and you're like a brother to me. So it's very cool to meet you and small world how baseball, brings so many people together and I'm thankful you can join the show and I'm glad we can talk and kind of hear about your life and how you got here. That's the big thing because I know you've been around international ball for quite a while compared to me. I've only been 2 months basically. So um, let's start off. All I really know is you went to Menlo and you're from Belmont. So let's start off with you, kind of talking about your career at Menlo.
Yeah, so basically went to Menlo College, kind of walked on, was able to earn a spot as just a reliever, basically a lefty specialist. So for me, it was a great experience. Was under a good coach, Jake McKinley over there, and he ran a good program, and it was very like it felt tight knit for me. I felt like we had kind of everyone going for the same page. And then, he was a little new, but so like he was kind of working through like how to become like from pitching coach to head coach. And so there were some things for me that I was like, just, I just kept watching. Like it was just so fascinating. I'm just a pitcher. I got nothing to better to do besides run stuff. So to have him kind of just watch him and like I was able to ask him advice on like pitching because he came from Sac State. He was able to give me some pitching advice. And then from as far as like running teams and stuff, like I was able to kind of watch how he took a D1 approach to like a small NAI college. And so for me, coming out of high school, everyone's like D1 ride or die. Like if you're not
Right.
D1, you ain't nothing. In my area specifically, I was never really told how well junior college baseball was in Northern California. My coach wanted me to go to this one that his buddy was at, but it was cold, it was foggy up there. I was weak.
You
I
don't
was
want
like, nah, dude, I want
that.
sunshine, bro. Like, I'm gonna go somewhere where it's sunny. So decided to go actually, kind of before Menlo because I transferred in my first year, my freshman year in winter. So I did go to Redlands before, tried to walk on, didn't go well, and then I was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna go find somewhere else. So established myself as like lefty specialist reliever for Jake down there at Menlo or up there at Menlo when I transferred, and then I had 4 years under him. And my experience was like it was interesting. Like year one, I was good, everything was fine. Then year two, I actually kind of partially tore my TFCC, so it's like a muscle in your wrist that like helps it, from like pronating or whatever, like just staying up in this like area, like that. So like it's just easy for me to like supinate now.
I didn't know
So
you could
before
even do
that,
that.
neither did I. But like coming out of high school and even probably up until like my junior, maybe senior year of college, I was like skinny, skin and bones. Like I still am pretty, like
Hmm.
skinny and not as beefy as I probably should be. But so I think that part took in it, and then like for me, like my pitching coaches were just like, "Oh, arm care. It's all you need, arm care." Like you don't need to get big. Getting big is gonna get in the way. I'm like,
Overrated.
dude, all right, sweet. That sounds like the life for me.
Yeah.
Just run and do arm care. All right, sweet. But yeah, I just got too fatigued. I was throwing too much, trying to like just figure stuff out, like how to be more
Hmm.
accurate, how to throw nastier off speeds, and then I popped that, and that was my first injury. But like I just decided to play through everything. So for the most part, it just everything stayed the same. Like I did a little bit of rehab for the wrist, and then that fall, I was like, well, like I'm gonna graduate in 4 years. I don't really want to. I didn't really think having an extra year when I wasn't gonna go back to college like
Mm.
be be worth anything. So I was like, no, I'll just play through it. Like I'll do what I can. So sophomore year, just played through that. Junior year, found out after sophomore year, found out I had three partials in the labrum, so the front, the top, and the
Uh,
back. And then I was like, all right, well, like I'm definitely gonna still play through this, like I'm not gonna take time off now. Junior year is the last 2 years, and those 2 years were like probably like the best years for me because that's when Jake was like really doing a good job of recruiting, and he had some help. We had like a really good hitting coach there, and some good assistants there from time to time. Like small budget, small school can only hold them for a little bit, unfortunately. But we had some good guys go through there, and Jake was the one thing about him. He was a really good recruiter. So we got like a bunch of D1 bounce backs. Like it was
mm,
just like, all right, like NAI is turning into like something like, oh damn, our staff's throwing 90, sitting 90. And like it's like I'm kind of sitting there like, oh, this is like okay, like, this is very interesting.
Getting
I
competitive.
didn't know how good baseball outside of your quotational D1 was, and I was like, well, like we played, so like the best thing for that I think were our first 2 years we faced Lewis Clark State in our conference, and like they were like one they at the time they were one of like the stronger powerhouse NAIA schools. And like when we went there and like their staff's sitting 90 and like all their relievers are like touching 90, it's like all their whole lineup's just jack dudes. You just fucking go bombs out the wazoo. I'm like, all right, like this is NAIA, like oh snap.
Uh,
And so like the college experience was great. Like baseball was good. Um, I had my
so
struggles for sure. Baseball's a mental game, but kicked me around a little bit, but I still came out. And then after that, I was still like I was kind of leaning into getting the job and just
right.
doing the normal work life. And then this one team hit me up in New Zealand, and that's kind of how I started. They're like, "We need you." I was like, all right. New Zealand sounds pretty dope. I looked it up. It was like, oh, on the beaches. Like, yeah, all right. That
My
sounds like it is
lifestyle.
for me. Yeah. So yeah,
How
I mean, I couldn't say. What was that?
how did that opportunity with New Zealand pop up? Like were you part of like did you sign up for something or did they
Oh
out of the
yeah.
blue?
No, so yeah, I was on the baseball jobs overseas.
Okay,
So
so
like
you
I
started with
talked
that.
to Jimmy because Jimmy actually played at Menlo too. So like we first met each other at alumni games, and like I'm sitting there like on the bench, and this alumni comes in, and all I hear is like, yeah, this guy's playing overseas, like he's a dog. I'm like, okay, like this is kind of sick. And he goes like 9 shutout innings, he goes like 7 shutout innings against us. I'm like, wait, what now? Like, what's going on? So I like do that double take, and then from there, like my senior year, I was like, well, like kind of just hit him up, made the account, and then from there, like the New Zealand thing was the first gig. Kind of
Was
fell in
that a
love with
winter
it
ball
after that.
gig or was that like a
Yeah,
regular
it was a
season?
winter ball
Okay.
gig, so I just got to go in the winter to their summer and just.
Fuck.
My first goal initially through the whole BBJO stuff was like to just chase summers and just like bounce back California to
Right.
Australia or New Zealand, whenever. But slowly, like overseas, you know how it is over here, especially with some clubs. Like it's a it's a big gap in like the coaches and like how many
Oh,
there
big
are in
time.
certain countries
Mm-hmm.
that like know what's going on. So for me, like I saw a couple kids in New Zealand, and they're currently playing in the States right now. But like I saw a couple kids who were like they had that hunger, they're getting in trouble in class for watching MLB, an actual game. It's like, oh, you're watching an actual baseball game in class and you're in trouble, and like
Like
you
that's the
kind of
kind
got
of
that
guy I want.
vibe. It's like I was like I'm just gonna go back there for a couple years. So I went back for like 2 3 years. Um, and my goal was just try to like stay in contact with them and try to get them somewhere. But
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of how
So
like
go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say that's kind of why I keep going overseas. I think is just to find those kids that like got that grit but don't have any like
Mm-hmm.
connections yet. Because like it's big. It's like there's a lot of baseball here, but
But it's a matter of
it's a matter
who
of
you know
connections
and
and
finding
like yeah,
resources and
and also the money too.
yeah. because like
So like
kids
trying to get them
love playing
scholarships
baseball,
is tough.
right? Like a lot of kids want to go to America here to play baseball because they know it's better competition, better, more scouts, stuff like that. And kids are talented here. It's just a matter of finding a way to get them there. And it
Hmm.
seems like your role from going to a player is now going to player development slash coaching because you're currently the coach, the pitching coach in at the Tempo Praha Titans team. So, and from what we've talked about on our 4 hours of drinking at the pub at the field, like it sounds like your main goal is just to currently, like, yes, you want to play and compete, but it's find players and like develop them and really teach them the game. And I think that's what you love about the game is, if I'm not like mistaken, like your goal is to help younger kids and develop them and show them, I wouldn't say real baseball, but show them the ways that baseball can be played in order to further their like careers.
Yeah.
So I mean, but like you go back to Menlo, do you look back on it now and think maybe I should have had those surgeries to stay an extra year? Just because like at the time, like we're about the same age and there was no transfer portal. There was, none of this crazy stuff going on in college now. But it's like, dude, if you got injured, like you didn't want to redshirt, you didn't want to stay an extra year of school, like you wanted to get your years done, play well, maybe get drafted, or maybe have a great senior year and then further from there. But like you look back on it now, do you think maybe one more year wouldn't have hurt?
Yeah, I mean, definitely looking back on it, I probably would have taken the shoulder one a little more seriously. Like, I was able to rehab the wrist back to normal slash like a little bit stronger. So, but like the shoulder ones, like that's like that nags me every single day. So it's like looking back on it, I definitely would have taken some time, repair the shoulder, taken that year off, whatever. Like the best was like medical red shirt. Like that's the only thing that
Mm-hmm.
he could have got. But
Yeah,
I mean,
because it
for me, it
saves
was
you a
just
year.
more. For me though, like it's, I do wish, but at the same time, like I was able to finish with like my class. So like that's for me, that's kind of what mattered more at the time. Maybe that was a little short sighted, but I was like, dude, like if I'm out, like I want to compete with like these guys right here, and then you know that's it. So it's tough, but yeah,
I mean, look at
because
where it
I'm
got
having
you
to
though.
still throw for teams nowadays, I guess
Yeah.
so. I would have that extra year, but kind of gave me some extra knowledge of like how to just maintain the body while like absolutely just, I wouldn't say in pain, but just absolutely just aching every single day and
Right.
still able to maintain so the arm hasn't fully given out yet. Cause like that was my first thing overseas. I was like, well, like when I threw some pitches, you get that nerve all the way through the pinky. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, all right, this is getting interesting. And I was like, well, I'm just gonna go till it blows out. And like, dude, it still hasn't yet. So like for me, it's like, dude, it hasn't blown out. You keep going, or at what point do I say like I'm gonna? I just want to coach, to be honest. But my team does need pitching here, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We don't have the ability to pull the younger guys up that are ready. So it's slowly becoming like, oh, like the older guys need to pitch less like, hey, coach, you can pitch, you should pitch a little
All
bit.
right.
So
Have
we'll
you pitched
see.
yet? We're going into week 4. Have you pitched yet? No, right?
Nope. But we got 3 game series against the Eagles here this weekend.
It's a big
They're a tough
series.
team. Yeah, it's a big series. They're playing well right now too. And so like it's looking like I'm gonna have to throw. But like, I came here to really coach. So like for me, it's like I'm doing everything in my power to coach,
Right. And
to
stay
get
off the
guys up.
mound and get the guys
Yeah, so
going.
I can do what I needed to do and just yeah. But baseball overseas is fun and interesting in that way, where it's like something happens where our best guy, like I don't know if you've heard of Mina, but like our best guy, like he got hurt, like his arm's done, so
Is
He's
this an
only
import
focusing on
guy or is
hitting,
this a
but like
Czech guy?
no, he's a Czech guy. Like
Oh,
he's
this
like
is the big DH guy, right?
yeah, the big DH,
Yeah,
tall. Played in like single A, double A for a little bit, but like he's just really good for this league because he throws like 89 to 91 or something like that. I heard.
but he's not gonna take this year off. He's gonna be a hitter, and then will he go off season and do his surgery or whatever he needs to, or is he kind of done
He's
as a
thinking of
thrower?
that, but like he's thinking about it. That's all I really know.
Hmm. And
I'm
he's young
hoping that
too, right? He's got
no, he's like he's older.
oh, okay.
Yeah. So
So
like he's almost like almost done with baseball, I feel like, but it's just I think it's more of like
it's a mental battle now. It's like, what does he want to do?
well,
You
yeah,
know,
it's that
what's he
mental battle back.
sacrificing?
And then also you got the the World Baseball Classic for these guys next year. So it's like that's
Yeah.
what's like it's like okay, do I go for it or it's like I've kind of had my career like like it's going to cost money to do this and then I still have to rehab it like it only hurts
Yeah.
to throw. So like it only hurts him to throw. So it's like do I need it for everyday life or if I need it to throw?
Well, is there a loophole he could find to be on the Czech national team? Make an excuse like, oh, I got hurt playing with the Czech national team, and the Czech national team or whoever funds it pays for his rehab and surgery.
See, I mean, if I was like Czech national team and I would like heard about it, I'd be like seriously like if we can, we need to ask him if he's willing to do it.
Yeah.
But
And then you got another kind of downfall. You got Haloop. Haloop left for the States to go play indie ball. So
yeah,
it's like, how are you guys recovering from that now?
it's going to be interesting this Saturday. I'll let you know because what's going on is I think one of our older guys has work or something, so he's not going to be there. And he's our other better outfielder, and so we're missing Kloop, we're missing him, and so we're down two guys. Our young guy against Kolash, we had two young guys pull hamstrings
Oh
last
my
week against
God.
Kolashka. Yeah, so like
Ah.
it might come out to where we're gonna have to put one of the Venezuelans in center field, or Curtis is like, "No, I put you in." I'm like, "Dude, no, like I can't run pitching from the outfield. I tried that in Austria. It's the
You're
most
gonna take
awkward
your
thing.
board and
Trying to
center.
run it from left to right field, dude, or like have anything like you can't do that. And then even like taking like mound visits, you're just jogging in from left to right field. Like you only
Yeah.
90 seconds in this league. Like, dude, it's like under this Wi-Fi.
Um,
Really,
yeah, the connection isn't smooth at the moment. I kind of missed your whole 30 seconds of that.
now my Wi-Fi is a little shot.
All good, dude. I
So
mean, we're in Europe. I will say the Wi-Fi has been pretty stable here though, compared to like the States. So like I appreciate even just having
for
Wi-Fi
you,
because I even haven't changed my plan or nothing. Like all I know is I can't make calls or else charges go straight up. So if I can FaceTime, I usually stick to anything with Wi-Fi. So FaceTime and FaceTime audio calls. So anytime I have a chance, I go to airplane mode and just use Wi-Fi.
okay,
But
yeah. I mean, it's pretty good here. My apartment's a little rough, so that's probably why
no,
we get disconnected.
no, it's up. But to go back to you trying to be a pitching coach in the outfield, I think these kids really need you in the dugout coaching and helping them because
Oh yeah,
because
hundred
it's
percent.
it seems like like they look to you for everything. Like even like anything that goes wrong, you are the guy that they come to, and that's really cool for them to have somebody to look up to because I think you have all the knowledge and the experience. And I mean, obviously, like you're still learning and stuff, but like I'm still learning at 33, so but it's cool to be a guy that these young kids. who want to be better at baseball look up to. And you doing such a good job as a pitching coach there, I think anywhere, but like you need to foot like it's hard to do 10 things at once, right? So as much as you probably could play the outfield or pitch, it's like, dude, like focus on the one thing first. And worst comes to worst, emergency, then you gotta do what you gotta do to make it work. But yeah, I
Yeah, I
think
feel the exact same way.
I mean you might have to be a trainer soon and put together a regiment for these guys that are getting hurt because you know about injuries, so you might have to be a trainer too.
Those were not. I don't know. I don't even know what happened. One guy was running for a fly ball, just the other guy I think was fielding ground ball, and
Dude,
but I mean we have some younger guys ready to go behind
mhm.
those guys, but seems like what a lot of clubs lack in general overseas is the arms.
Right. Well, yes, definitely arms. Because I mean, you see, I mean, my first couple weeks here, I'm noticing like most imports are either middle infield catching or mainly pitching. And I'm very fortunate as an outfielder to even be chosen. So, but it is pitching that lacks here, and that's why import pitching is so important. But also, it helps the Czech guys learn from imports that come in. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, but shit, dude. Hopefully, the Latin guys can pick up some slack and you can coach your way up to a bunch of wins this season.
Yeah,
So,
fingers crossed. We're going for the
yeah.
sweet. That's how I'm
Hey,
always thinking we're going for the sweet.
absolutely. Did you got to think, all right, whatever record I am, we're going to be 3 wins better or 2 wins better after the weekend, but one game at a time, right? What's what is your take on baseball culture in Europe or overseas in general? Compared to what we have in the States. Whereas, because like here, it's almost like work and school is priority over baseball. Whereas in the States,
Yeah.
it's like, no, you better make your 4 o'clock practice. You better be making your games.
You
Like,
better be here 10, 15 minutes
yes,
early.
yeah, like what is your take on the culture here?
Yeah, so I would say overall the culture it would depend on certain countries and stuff, but as far as like Europe goes, it's exactly what you said. Is as far as baseball, it's like school and family and work they matter more because baseball it's not big out here. Like if it was
Hmm.
football or like soccer, like
Right.
the priorities are then something to chase for because one there's like overall, I really just see it as there's no money in it. So like it's only treated as a hobby or like something to do for fun because there's no future sight for them to be like, you know what, like if my kid plays in the extra league, like, oh, he would be getting paid like $1,000 a month or like $2,000 a month. And, they do travel on these nice buses that are sponsored by people because
Hmm.
there's interest in it. So I know like as far as like some of the better leagues in Europe, Czech and Germany, like Italy and those other countries, like they're doing a good job by starting to stream it and getting it like on TV, YouTube, and stuff like that. Um, but from what I hear, like kids' attitudes, they kind of talk once in a while, and you just kind of overhear. And I ask like the older guy helping him, I was like, dude, I don't understand. Like, what are they saying? There's like why are like why are they taking this so seriously? And like what are you gonna do? Play an extra league and pay money to play in the extra league? And it's like, oh, it's like for them, like some guys are jabbing and they might be good, but they don't really care too much here.
Hmm.
And that's I think part of it is just like there's nothing like the best we can say or that I say is like listen, like you can get so good that maybe that like someone in the states will like pay for you to come play or like give you money to go do college in the states and play. And if you get good enough, then you could go independent baseball and then play maybe in the MLB minors and get drafted, or even not. Like there's other countries that do have money in it, like Asia and like
Hmm.
Latin America, that if you're good enough, they'll pay you pretty well and give you stay and all that, right? One of my buddies just played in Nicaragua, and now he's in the Mexico League, and I think he's going to DR this winter. But like they pay way better because there's fans, it's
Right.
televised, there's money into it, and yeah, they're good, but
Yeah.
I think it's because a lot of the athletes want, they'll go there. Where here, it's like, for me personally in Europe, it's almost like a trend I tend to hear, at least, is
Hmm.
like, oh yeah, we get all the athletes that are like aren't that good at soccer, or like they're
Or
national sports, like, or
yeah.
hockey for Czech, or like in New Zealand, it's like, or cricket, or like stuff like that. It's like, well, if they're not that good, they just come here. It's like, like
Yeah.
I guess that's how they kind of look at it, but
Right. Like it's something to do because it either it's fun, their friends play, or they're not good enough to play soccer or hockey.
or
Whereas
they get
like,
made fun of. So like some kids, like I was in a country where like half the kids on my U13 were like kids who got bullied out of other sports. So they
yeah,
came to baseball because it's like well, at least for me, it's like we know it's like, are you making errors? Like you're not gonna get bullied for it. It's like, hey, dude, like everyone's
yeah,
gonna make errors, bro. Like chill out, wait your turn. And
yeah,
so like it's like not as mean, some parents think, in certain countries. So like for me, it's like it's just a mixture of everything on that. But
yeah. Because it's like everyone knows baseball is a failing sport, and so you could come and play the sport and not be looked down on or made fun of because you're making mistakes because it is such a process sport where it's about practice and you need practice, and if you make mistakes it's okay because you can learn from it. Like that's the cool thing with baseball, and but it just sucks that kids want to come because they feel more safer rather than they want to come because like in American it's like our goal is to make the big leagues. In Europe and other countries it's like if you make the top level it's like that's all they kind of look at. Whereas us, we have aspirations and obsession to make the big leagues and be the next Mike Trout or Mookie Betts. So that's how I think of it because I mean like I've seen already like there's players on teams that they go to work, they show up when they can to the games, and that's it. It's like there's and you see it like in the work ethic too. It's like they just come have fun, to hang out with the friends, and if they do well in a game, it's like fuck yeah. If they do bad, they don't give a fuck. They're gonna go hang out with the family and stuff. So
or they get like really mad and then like
or
flush it, but don't like do too much about it to like
yeah.
make that impact. And
Hmm.
like that's one thing I do like about, okay, like lightly like about like overseas mentality for the most part, is like, oh, like you mess up in the game, yeah, you can get mad, but the next day, like you just don't care about it. Like for me, I was like, whoa,
Yeah. It's so
I
different
care
because
about it, but like just
because
to
I
be able
show
to
up to the
flush it
field with
that
a
quick,
vengeance. Yeah.
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 But to be able to
Yeah.
flush something that quick, I was like, you know what? I could do that. Like that would
Yeah.
probably help me out in the long run.
Well, that's what I'm starting to learn because it still takes me like a while to flush it. So, and I'm using my one of my best
Yeah.
friends mentors because he's a mental performance coach, and I'm at 33 still using one, figuring out the mental side of the game. So to learn and see how they react to stuff, it helps me, feel better and like learn how to move on, flush it, all this stuff. So because the game is different here, and being my first time, I've been struggling the first couple of weeks, and knowing that my teammates still have my back, and it's like they're talking to me as if I'm the rookie, which technically I am, even though I have a resume of fucking of a career. But it's nice to know teammates, no matter what the age here, like they are gonna support you and try and help you out through things. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what like I enjoy, and that's the cool part. Yeah, because it's like even if I don't play, it's like, well, how can I be a better teammate and friend on the bench and help the team win or help these younger guys, develop? And that's kind of where I'm at. Of course, I want to play because I'm a competitor, but hey, man, it is what it is, and you just gotta find ways to be better and help others because that's in the end what it's about. Because if you're doing good playing, then you're also helping others too because you're building up others to play well too. So that's the fucking cool part. And this is your first time in Czech?
This is my first like gig in Czech. I've been in Czech for like the Prague Baseball Week. They used to
Okay.
allow like BBJO teams import teams.
Right.
So that's how I first met.
What? Dude, I'm glad you brought that up because like I want to know what RJ's telling me like the BBJO team for Prague Baseball Week isn't allowed anymore or like at least for this year or
Yes.
stuff. Like what's do you know any inside deals on that? Like what's the reason? Did you hear me?
Kind of lost
Tech
you there for a little bit. You asking what are you asking about?
technical difficulties.
Yeah. What you ask about there?
No, because I heard for Prague Baseball Week like the BBJO teams and those teams that have been put together and been playing in that aren't allowed for this year. Is
Mm-hmm.
the first year in like a
They
while. Do
yeah,
you
they
know
wanted
any
just
any
national
reason?
teams. That's what I've been told. They just wanted national teams only. So like
But is the past history of the BBJO teams coming in, is it because the BBJO teams are too good, or they just like they don't care for imports playing in a thing, or
haven't been no answer to that. I have no clue.
fair enough,
But like
fair enough.
I would think like for a big tournament, like that's where I first really fell in love with like what Czech baseball might have to offer. I was like, dude, like these guys might actually have something, like this might be
Hmm.
really good here in Europe. Because you heard, and then you played like their Czech national team, the U23, and they're battling with an import team, and you're like, oh snap, they beat an import team. Like okay, like these
Yeah,
guys
like
can play baseball, like these guys
don't
can
you
play
want that?
baseball.
That's what I
Yeah.
would think they would want.
Um,
Like you get a bunch of imports that have been playing the game, know the game. It's almost like bringing a United States All-Star team here and a Czech team beats them. It's like, oh fuck, like we're actually really good and we just beat an American team. Like I
yeah.
would think you would
So,
want that kind of competition.
but I think for draw to get other European teams in who might not be able to put as strong of U23 and men's teams in, I think that's why they might be going with more just national team kind of look. But
Gotcha. So is Prague Baseball Week just Prague teams, or is it all of
no,
Europe
it's
that they
going to
try to
be
bring
like
in?
I don't know who's coming this year, but I hear that I'm pretty sure a team from Japan's coming. There's the Czech teams normally like Spain comes up. Like you'll get other
So
countries. I
it's
think
almost
that's
like a World Baseball Class
like a
International.
mini, like yeah,
Yeah,
kind of like a
like a
mini.
mini.
Yeah, you can look at
Is
that
there
way.
any incentive that you know of like what a winner gets or something, or is it
No, I don't
just a
think it's.
tournament to get recognition on the game?
I think it's just a tournament, and I think they get. Okay, maybe this might be a reason, but it could count towards points towards World Baseball Classic stuff or European
Mm,
Baseball Classic stuff. So like for the world Europeans, like they want to incentivize more Europe to come to like help their standard points out for like their European World Classic stuff that they got going on. And
oh,
then,
so
yeah,
does each national team get points in order to qualify for the World Baseball Classic kind of thing
I
before they
think
go
for
into
that,
qualifiers?
yes. But like, I'm not sure if Prague Baseball Week does that. But what I was trying to say is, like, I think it might do something for the European
Mm,
Championship, which is like what you'll be able to watch,
okay.
and it goes on a lot. So like,
Right.
that's what a
Isn't
lot of
that
these
in
national
June?
teams really go to. Yeah, I
Isn't
think
that
so.
insane
Around
this
the same
year?
time.
Are you gonna try like what is your plans for those 3 or 4 weeks that we have off? Which is what, like our
Um,
All-Star break technically, right?
yeah, it's like
Or
our All-Star break / week for Progress week. I think
yeah.
for me, if we're running camps, I'm going to go to our camps, and then
Mm-hmm.
my brother's getting married this like August, first week of August, so I'm trying to go. Well, I have to go back, but I'm trying to like finagle my way to getting 2 weeks off before that, so I can make my grandparents' anniversary.
Oh shit.
Um,
All right.
so I'm going to try to do it. Like I'm just kind of try to do everything I can for this club right now because I'll be missing 2 weeks in season. So like
Oh,
that's what's tough about that. So it's like, damn,
oh.
I'd miss 2 weeks in season if we're struggling and we need those games.
You
Then
got
for
yeah,
me to be
yeah.
gone for you know what I'm saying. So I'm just gonna try to just play it easy and hang out around here,
Or
do the
you guys flip it
camps.
around, or you guys flip it around now, this week of
Uh,
May, or this month of May. Find some fucking wins. Just don't play us because we're gonna dominate. You know.
okay, I feel confident against you guys after seeing you guys once.
RJ's back is starting to hurt. like
Good.
like that game that got postponed against you guys because of the snow, and we
Hmm.
came back and lost. In our meeting after the game, is like, yeah, we can't just rely on RJ to fucking do everything, guys. RJ's fucking back starting to hurt. Like,
RJ's
well,
the guy.
RJ's the man, dude. It's like, but
RJ, you just got out. I know you're not up for another 2 innings, but score some runs.
yeah, score some runs, DH and please find a way because no, but seriously, dude, he's the man here, dude.
Yeah, I know he
Like,
is.
he's so chill. He
That's
can
the only
pitch.
threat. I told my pitchers, like, guys, like this is like our only real threat. I didn't know too much about you, so I was like, I didn't even know you were like Gold Glover minor league. I was like, oh, this is a guy like make him prove it. The only guy you might want to be cautious of with guys on base is RJ. Like
Okay.
everybody else, like let's make him earn it first. And
Well,
didn't
I
work out for
finally,
us that first game. The second game it did.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, and your pitcher that you had to take out from the snow game, he was doing really well. And then the guy that you put in to start the next day, nobody could hit him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's you guys have pitching. I think it's a matter of how long can they stay in the game before fatigue sets in or the mentality fades.
For me, it's like yes, because our two Venezuelans are supposed to be starters. So like
But you
ideally
use one out of the
Friday,
pen,
well, because we only have 2 game series.
right?
And so for me, realistically, if they didn't have the import rule where every second game has to be a Czech guy, they would have started both games. And the the Czech starter for during the snow out, like he's young, he's 19. I got him going to a junior college in Colorado. So like he needs to get consistency. So like on a day like where he was looking good and feeling good against you guys to get cut
Hmm.
short 3 innings, I was like
Sucks.
damn dude, like
Yes.
that's rough because he needs that extra 3 4 innings on a day like that to really lock it in and feel comfy. Because the next
Right.
outing against Kolashka, he was like really wild. He did good, like like we won that game, but it was 100 pitches out of 5 innings. I'm like, dude, like
Yeah.
you gotta like challenge these guys more, like especially with Kolashka, they're a young team. You guys are a young team too. Like your lineup's
Hmm.
young. Like, dude, if you're a better Czech arm against younger Czech guys, you gotta have that like grit and like confidence that like, no, I'm better than you. Hit my fastball first, then I'll throw all the bangers. Because he's
Hmm.
got three. He's got when he's on, he's got his slider and his curve. It's good, and his changeup
Hmm.
he uses once in a while. He probably needs to use a little more, but
I mean, like
he's got to learn.
what I notice here, like with the pitching is they love their off speed. Like they're scared to throw the fastball.
Dude, dude,
And
it's
and
like
I mean and I mean yes, hitters chase a lot, but like establish that fastball. Like the fastball is one of the hardest pitches to hit because it's a firmer, and then also as a hitter, you're not succeeding 10 out of 10. You're maybe succeeding 2 out of 10, maybe 3 out of 10. So it's like, I think pitchers forget how hard it is to hit and how successful it is to be in baseball.
That's why like if we had an extra day and like the culture, like I could really get all my pitchers here on one day, I'd be like, dude, we're just gonna go hit off a machine.
Hmm.
Like I'm just gonna put a machine on and I want you
And
guys to try
blast
to
it.
hit. Yeah. Or like even go slow and be like, try to hit it and like we'll put the hit tracks on and then we'll see if you can even get a hit when it's like somewhat like 85. And then we
Yeah.
ramp it up. Then we ramp, like, dude, like it's tough. Like it's not easy, even when you know the pitch is coming. Like
Yeah,
you
it
can
doesn't
mess up.
fucking matter. Yeah,
And
there's so much that happens from the time a ball is released for those point 0.4 seconds to the time you decide to swing a bat and you swing it. Like you have point 0.4 seconds to think all of that and swing a bat and make contact with a round ball, round bat. I mean, but like we play Ostrava today and we're facing the Czech national pitcher that struck out Otani, right? So all I know is he's 70 to 75
with a
with a
nasty change.
nasty change, right? And he's a crafty pitcher, knows how to pitch. So yesterday practice we had our machine going slow, and the ball would sometimes cut and sink. And everyone's struggling to hit it. So it's like today's going to be a challenge for us. Just a matter of keeping it simple as always. But I mean, like
Yeah.
it just goes to show velo, it doesn't matter, and you know that too.
Slow pitching is tough. So that's what my college coach told me is like there's like this there's like a hitting radar, like there's a sweet spot like in college at our level. He looked it up, researched it. He was like the sweet spot's like like kind of like 84 to like
But 80,
88, and like
yeah,
like anything above 88, anything above 90, it's really uncomfortable. Anything below like 70, 80 is like really difficult too. And like he was pretty good at going like hard guy, righty, funky, going to a different guy who's like sidearm funky, and then going to like a slow, soft, funky lefty that throws from two slots, like
right.
he was able to do that very well. And that's where like the pitching management and stuff, like that's where like, his history came through. And that's why I was like, like I dig it. Like, because
Hmm.
most coaches, especially now, but back then too, was like like gotta throw hard, velo, velo, velo. As a slow, crafty lefty, it's just like, all right, I'll
Lefties are the
keep
best, bro.
trying. I'll keep
We can throw
trying.
hard, we can throw soft. It doesn't matter. We're gonna find a way to get you out because we're so different. We come from different arm angles. The ball just magically comes out of our hands different. I mean,
It's
lefties are
nice.
better. Yeah. I mean, like I remember in middle school, I was like our last pitcher to pitch. I was mainly, outfield and stuff, but like I would go and be a two-way guy. In one game, we were getting our butts kicked by our main starter that's throwing hard. And the coach's like, all right, Breland, you go. I come in, just got every fucking guy out that I faced. And then I transferred to that school like in 2 years, and I go up to the coach and be like, you remember me? Yeah, I'm the slow lefty that got all you fucks out. So it's like slow or really hard is hard to hit. But once you get into that BP mode, easy because hitting's timing and rhythm. And
And you
guys,
got to be able to do something different with changing eyes or changing speeds, and like it's a lot at that. That's why
mm-hmm.
it's like, maybe I should just stay below average.
Yeah. I
Don't
mean, but
take
then
care of the
again,
arm.
yeah, like if your dream isn't minor league ball or major league, then it's okay to be a slow guy. But if you want to, go there, you better start getting the velo up. But
Yep.
if not, you got a long career just, knowing how to pitch without velo. Especially shout out to BBJO again, but like you come overseas, you can have a long career and you can get into coaching so well because they need coaching here.
Yeah. That's what I do love about BBGO is once I saw that my first couple years in New Zealand, and I was like, like let's go check out Europe. I checked out Europe 1 year, traveled around and did the Prague Baseball Week, and just talked to guys about what their leagues were like and where they were at, and it just sounded like, okay, average velo doesn't get above like 85
Hmm.
in most of these countries right now, whereas like Czech will start getting 85 to 90s guys, but it's not as common because I guess the
No.
culture. But I would also say, going back to that culture thing, part of it is probably because like there's no sports in like baseball's not in a school.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, so it's
That's weird
all it's
too.
all on these clubs. So like you guys get funding from your city, but like all the Prague teams, they don't get too much funding from Prague. The Bruno teams, like if they win the championship, they get like 1 million crowns. So like that's why they can spend the money to get all these double A,
Hmm.
triple A minor leaguer guys who are fresh and just
Yeah.
huck above like league
But it,
average.
I think it's just so crazy. Like, there's three teams in Prague. You're one of them. You're in the biggest city in Czech with the most money, but yet they look at baseball as like the bottom of the bottom. Like they could give a shit about baseball, whereas it's tourism and hockey and maybe soccer. It's like those two sports is what they're going to give their money to. Other than that, they're more worried about their tourism and, the fancy stuff all in Prague. So it just sucks to see a big city like that with the money to provide for you guys. They don't do it.
Just to
Is
give it a
they
little more
they
stability to the clubs
yeah.
for the kids, because like especially maybe a little more so in True Beach, like we're trying to raise fees in our club so we can get more coaches like me and like Jake and Curtis and like guys who actually
Hmm.
can help out and do stuff.
Yeah.
But like it's also like the parents don't always have, like, not everyone has a lot of money. Whereas like in the States, it's like you go back to the States and parents are getting paid 1,000 to 1,500, maybe even more just for tourney baseball a month,
Right?
getting them gear, just bouncing. It's just like all it's all about the swag nowadays. I love it, but it's like, damn, like you guys are just all dripped out already. 12U baseball. It's like,
Evo
what's
Shield
going
this,
on
Easton
right
this.
now?
I know.
Yeah, and then private
And then the
lessons,
eye blacks are
are
going nuts.
yeah, and then you have to do private lessons, or you do trainings, and you go private facilities for trainings. It's like another 500 a month for their programs, or you go private trainers, and it's 100. Like I charge a
Yeah.
100 an hour. It's like it's pricey. Where it's like that's also where it's like that's the money in play. Like you don't you don't get too many families out here that are able to like afford like
Or they don't even want to like invest in it.
yeah, and it's just like
Whereas, yeah, America is like you don't have money, but you're gonna invest in your kid no matter what. So you're throwing money you don't have into your kid to play baseball. Here, maybe if you want a private lesson, it's maybe $40. America, like you said, we're charging 75 to 100 a lesson. And then if you're not getting lessons, you're signing up for some batting cage, like D-bats cage or whatever, but you're signing up for the membership, and that's still a couple $100.
yeah.
And you're not even getting lessons. You're just getting crap quantity reps.
Yeah. And it's like, it's all a quotational investment, because if they get that college, full ride with academic, it's like that it does pay off. But
Hmm.
that's why it's like if the universities here, and I think this is, I was in Austria and Hungary. So like for me, I don't think it's different anywhere in Europe, whereas like there's no baseball in a university. There's no teams. It's all clubs. So
Right.
I think that adds a little extra difficulty in trying to
Hmm.
get it more mainstream.
Yeah. I think it's so interesting. Your school's here, no sports, and you're relying on the clubs or the professional level, to progress at your sport. Whereas,
Yeah.
like, I mean, we go to high school, we even go to middle school, and we got the middle school team, the intermediate team. We got JV, we got varsity, and then we go to college, we got our college team, and then there's professional. So it's like you're working your way up without having to go to club or an academy, something like that. So it's almost like you're earning your way to get to professional, whereas here you can be a professional like right off the bat if you're good, technically. Right. I mean, like I know guys here, like the local, like the Czech guys usually don't get paid because they try to save the money for the imports. But if you're
Yeah.
in extra league, even the first league, like I would consider that professional here. Like you're playing on a pretty high level. You could say that's professional because they don't have high
Yeah.
school, they don't have college sports.
Yeah, you could
And you
hit it
got
really young if you're good, or if you're
yeah,
like good and maintain it, you could stay there like until you or get so old where you can't move
yeah,
anymore. That's how I
until
see
you
it.
until you age out. Because I mean, all the guys with the extra league records, they've been playing in extra league for 20 years. They've been playing here forever. And like you got guys that are 40 pitching too. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the cool part about the culture is you can play forever without the game aging you out. America, we age you out by the time you're 25. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
26, you're
Oh,
too
you're
old.
out of college. Like if you don't have a for sure route in pro ball after college, it's
Yeah.
like, all right,
Y-
go coach.
Go coach or go get a job. Like,
Yeah.
sorry about it. But that's why the overseas thing is so big. And like, hey, have you done the Finkston ball thing?
Dude, yes. So that's
Uh,
like, dude, that's what I would love. That's what I still would love to do more of is like tournaments like that, Prague Baseball Week. I'll play for that. Like that's fun because it's baseball, baseball, baseball. There's a softball field there. There's a concert after like the first and maybe even second night. A lot of just booze and
have
it's
you-
just
yeah,
have fun
it's a
and
good
play
time.
baseball.
So I think Finkston ball is this month, like in 2 weeks or something.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
Eddie's been trying to get me, but we have games Friday, Saturday. Obviously, it goes to Monday. So I've been trying to figure out a way to get there. Have you thought about going to Finkston ball this year in
I
Austria?
have. It's like we would have to train to Vienna to Salzburg, take a train somewhere to around Ottenau, and then I think we'd be fine on that.
Because the only
Um,
thing stopping me is the transportation. And I mean, I'm still new to the transportation. I got to ask RJ about trains, buses, and stuff. But I really am looking for somebody that's coming through Beach or that's going and wouldn't mind kind of picking me up kind of thing or. So if you're
just go
thinking about
coach. Yeah.
going, yeah, if you're thinking about going, let me know because it will be a game time decision. Like I didn't tell Burns when he was sending out the emails
Yeah,
that,
no, yeah.
that's
I asked and then I figured like it's gonna be a tough one because we got games on the 17th, 18th too. So it'd be
mhm,
either leave straight from there and start making my way over. So I get there by the morning, Sunday
yeah, Sunday
morning,
morning. Yeah.
because it's not like a 10 hours, it's going to be like it's 4.5 to Vienna, so maybe like 7, 6, 7 or so like that. I have to
Because
look it up, but
it's not in Vienna, right? It's like 30 minutes outside or an hour outside of Vienna, the city.
maybe by
The-
car. Yeah, it's
uh,
definitely out. I would say I thought it was closer to like more of a Salzburg area.
yeah,
But
I think
yeah,
that's
it's
that's
definitely away from Vienna, so it's not one easy train for us. It's going to be like train
right.
transfer,
And then
maybe
a
two
bus or
transfers,
something.
three
Yeah.
transfers.
Yeah, because Eddie's been hitting me up. Have you met him? The one I
Yeah,
think he's super
Shooters
cool guy.
League.
So he's been sending me the
Yeah,
Shooters League schedules too. Have you been to some of the Shooters League stuff?
I have not. So all last year, for like a year and a half, I was coaching at a like an international academy as a pitching coach over there. And that's where I met the Czech guys from this year, and one of them helped me get over here. So it kind of all just worked out.
And
But
this
so
was and
no,
this was you met him last year through what again?
I met him in 2022 um, through Prague Baseball Week.
Ah, okay. And you just showed up to
Yeah,
Prague Baseball Week with
showed up to
what?
Prague Baseball Week. We played a couple games. I had to leave Friday to head back to Budapest because we were taking the national team to California to play 10 games or
Wait,
like
the national team of who?
Hungary. So I was the
Okay, so
coach for the Hungarian national team. So one of them. So
oh fuck,
me
dude,
and
that's
three other guys from California ran that team for a year. That was a cool experience. Got to go to Belgrade, got to go to Slovenia, and
that's
just
sick.
saw Eastern European national teams and what their baseball was like, and it's free travel
When was
chance.
this? Yeah, I mean, what was this?
That
2018?
was 20. That was 22.
Oh, recently. Shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
recently. So I went from my area all the way to Prague. That was a long trek. Was a part of Prague Baseball Week team until Friday. Went back to Budapest, then flew all the way to California. Stayed there for like 10 days with the team. We organized games. Took them to like a Giants game and all that, and then flew all the way back, and then
And was
trained a little
that
more with
and
them.
was that funded by the like the
That
Hungary
was funded by
national?
one of like yeah by a like it was the Hungarian National Baseball Federation, but it was also like at the time like pretty much two families, like two, three
Okay.
families that funded most of it. You know, like they had the
It's
money and
almost like the boosters of the
yeah,
team
they
kind of
were the
thing.
boosters. That's a good way of putting it. You know, like help paid for the flights or help paid for like our. We had a travel bus in California, so we all just traveled together on the same bus. Maybe coaches got to drive separate because we were living at home, you know, not at the hotel.
Right.
Paid for the hotel, paid for some food, you know, just little things like that. So it was a good experience for those young guys.
Yeah, that's so sick. Like as much as I want to stay in Czech because I love it here, still want to have that experience that you had in everywhere and play everywhere. So we'll see. We'll see what
That's where
happens.
you keep yourself open to all these extra tournaments. But like as far as like I don't know what you're trying to do future with baseball either, but like from the coaching perspective, like I can only handle like a certain level of baseball, putting it like
Hmm.
well, and like
Right.
Czech is an area where even from youth down, it's still pretty up to speed on what they're trying to do with stuff, whereas like some
Hmm.
countries are
They just kind
not
of
really
throw
up
it
to
out there.
speed. Well, because they don't have anyone over there. Like some clubs, like
Yeah.
I'm talking like some Slovakia teams, like they might not have anyone, no American influence, no nothing. It's just a bunch of Slovakians trying to run the club because they love the sport. But like, do they
Right.
have the knowledge? Can they keep up with like the training? Like it's not the
Organization, all the yeah.
yeah organization where it's like Czech, Germany, Italy, France. From the guys I've
Yeah.
talked to, even Austria is trying to make a big difference too. Not that like Hungary, like everyone's trying, but it's like one as a coach, I feel like I need enough kids to coach. Whereas like some countries, like if only like six kids show up to practice, it's like, man, dude, you can't run a team that way. Like it's like six kids out of practice. It's like
You need nine.
everyone
At least nine.
everyone can take ground balls and at least we have even numbers so we can all throw with each other and sure we can hit, but yeah, to run and teach baseball it's tough that way.
Yeah.
Whereas at least at these Czech practices, the least I have from my youth practices is probably like eight or nine, and that's normally when like the A team's off playing a game or we send some of our better players to go
Right.
practice with the D1 team. um, so for me as a coach, it's going to be hard for me to leave this area now that I'm already in. I got my visa, so I can stay legally until like 26, and then that's if my club wants me back. Obviously, if we make agreements and
Right.
everything's going
Right.
good, but like kind of already chilling here. It's like, damn, it's going to be hard to leave. But I will want to start to make my way westward. Like I still love the beach, bro. Like I'm still gonna try
Yeah.
to make
I
my
mean,
way
I
like
would I would
Italy,
love
France
to.
on the
Yep.
beach,
Same.
Spain, Portugal. Yeah,
Same.
all
Um,
day.
I don't care that I'm older, but if I can find a life, a family, and enjoy baseball and do that's what I want to do. Because like just comparing it to the States. In Europe, it's like, dude, just it's like peaceful here, and
It's
like,
too much life or death in the States, you know? Like
yeah, right. Well, currently, yeah, for the last couple of years. So here, I don't like. There's no news that people watch on the TV or put on the TV in the bars. Like,
oh, I didn't even mean that. I just meant as far as baseball. Like it's like, you
well,
know,
that too, in general.
but
But
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
but baseball
that's a
here,
great
people are
point.
playing it. People are playing it for fun. If you want to go back to baseball, like it's
Yeah.
it's not a make or break thing. Like fuck you have to do this. You have to. Here, it's if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And the cool part is that they're growing it, but I think they're doing it the right way. They're
Yeah.
slowly trying to grow it and develop and find the knowledge, find the resources to do it. But it's not a like fuck if we don't do it. Like it's not a cutthroat like political thing. Like of course there's politics here, but it's so minor. You know,
Yeah.
it's so minor here. Um,
But yeah, the
but no,
lifestyle behind it too.
bro, I'm going to the grocery store and getting things that would cost me $30. I'm paying less than 10.
Yeah.
Like
Every time I
fuck.
do the translation, I'm like, oh, that's all it was. Like I got a whole bag full of stuff. I'm like, damn,
Yes.
my bag's heavy, dude. Like I got a lot of stuff, and it's okay. That's food quality here is a little bit
And
better.
like you're not gaining weight, right? I'm not. I would love to gain weight, but as much as I'm eating, I'm not
Probably,
gaining weight.
I probably lose weight in season 2, and once it's gonna start getting more hot and like humid, and you're gonna start sweating everything out.
Hmm.
No, like I will say, like overseas, for some reason, every team, a majority of my teams like going to like KFC and McDonald's in between games. And I'm sitting here like, dude, this would make me like not want to do anything in the States, but I can eat it. And I'm like, you know what? Like,
Yeah.
it's
But you're
not
also in Prague.
as heavy. True.
Yeah, no. I mean, you're also in Prague where fast food is a little more available. Here, we have one fast food restaurant in fucking Trzewice, and it's KFC.
Okay, that's good. See, I wouldn't mind that though.
And I have yet to go to it
um,
because we have a Lidl and an Albert's right by the field, and all the
dude,
restaurants
yeah,
and
that's a great
pubs.
setup right next to you.
Hmm. So when you guys come back, I believe we don't play you until like July, I think, again. More time, maybe
Yeah, it's
August.
super late.
But yeah, dude, I'm fucking loving it here. Only been a month, a little over a month, and one day at a time, dude. But I'm looking forward to a good future here for sure.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be nice.
Yeah.
You're gonna enjoy it a lot.
I
I can
mean,
already
and I
tell.
and I get to meet fucking you and Wes and RJ. I mean, I get to meet Americans like myself or people that talk English, so it's still cool to have that comfort
Oh yeah,
around. But dude, it's been a pleasure, dude. We both
of
got games
course.
today
Thanks for
that
having
that
me.
we that we need to get ready for.
Yeah, let's get these dubs. You got a 3 game series or 2 game?
We got three. We got one today and two tomorrow.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
Double
we
header.
got Ostrava. Uh, so it's gonna be tough. Like I never know what to
Yeah,
get like with our team, but these kids battle, and that's the cool part. Like the kids here, they fucking compete. I don't even care if they're not playing well. They go out there and fucking compete.
yeah.
And you guys got the Eagles, so
We got the Eagles. They're
fucking
playing
go get
well.
them. Yeah, dude, it's baseball, bro. The A's can beat the Yankees any day of the week. Eh,
Yeah, I love it.
So, um, dude,
Yeah.
good luck. Thank you again for joining me on episode 21, Peeling the Banana. Marcus Fukuhara, everybody. Dude, good luck today. We'll see you
Thank
soon, my
you for
man.
having me, bro. Good
Oh,
luck.
no, bro.
Go get him, sir.
Dobry den.